We have to see Professor Dumbledore immediately.
I'm afraid Professor Dumbledore is not here. He received an urgent owl from the Ministry of Magic and left immediately for London.
He's gone, but this is important. This is about the Philosopher's Stone.
How do you know?
Someone's going to try and steal it.
Now, if that scene felt a little off, you're probably from the US, and that's because this scene is from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This is the version you're probably more familiar with.
We have to see Professor Dumbledore immediately.
I'm afraid Professor Dumbledore is not here. He received an urgent owl from the Ministry of Magic and left immediately for London.
He's gone? Now, but this is important. This is about the Sorcerer's Stone.
How do you know?
Someone's going to try and steal it.
So yeah, if you didn't know, there are two versions of Harry Potter's first year at Hogwarts, and ever since I discovered this fact, I've always been curious.
Very curious.
Like, why do they exist? And how different are these two versions really? Well, I've wondered long enough. So I bought this, a copy of the Philosopher's Stone from an alternate dimension called the United States. And I'm going to compare it to the version I grew up watching so I can finally answer those questions once and for all. So why do these two movies exist in the first place? Well, it all started when Scholastic bought the book rights to publish the Philosopher's Stone in the US. They just didn't like the term philosopher. It just wasn't cool enough, too archaic, too academic sounding, they said. So they suggested an alternative, Harry Potter and the School of Magic, which is a pretty generic sounding title, to be honest, and Rowling thought the same. So instead, she suggested they just replace the word philosopher with sorcerer. Scholastic loved the idea, and soon it was definitive. Philosopher, boring; sorcerer, cool. Which is kind of frustrating, mainly because the mythology around the Philosopher's Stone in Harry Potter was actually based off an existing mythical artifact, a legend dating back to early Greek philosophy, a stone that could turn base metals into silver or gold, and a stone that alchemists believed could be used to craft
The elixir of life, which will make the drink immortal.
Immortal?
But despite that fact, the title was changed and we ended up with two books about the same story. But it wasn't just the title on the outside that was changed. The text inside the covers was also adjusted for US readers too. Jumper was changed to sweater, car park became parking lot, field was changed to pitch, just to name a few. Phrases like Happy Christmas was also changed to Merry Christmas in the books. Weirdly though, that last change wasn't reflected in the film versions, with both the Philosopher's Stone and the Sorcerer's Stone having this same identical scene.
Looked 100 times.
Not in the restricted section. Happy Christmas.
Which brings us to the second question. How different are these versions really? Well, I watched this 2007 released US Blu-ray from start to finish, and yeah, it is basically the same lovely experience I remember.
What is it? He's going to sacrifice himself. No, you can't! There must be another way!
Do you want to stop Snape from getting that stone or not? Harry, it's you that has to go on. I know it. Not me, not Hermione, you.
Until that is, it wasn't.
Of course! Here it is. Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the Sorcerer's Stone.
What?
It's so weird. This is like the Mandela effect personified.
Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the Sorcerer's Stone.
And if you're going, what's the issue? Well, you're probably American. So here's the version, the rest of the world grew up with.
Of course, here it is. Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the Philosopher's Stone.
What?
Honestly, don't you two read?
And playing them side by side, you can see that they even made two different prop books for the two versions, which I cannot understate how weird that is to look at.
Of course, here it is. Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the Philosopher's Stone.
What?
But beyond all the whiplash, what really shocked me was the trio and their line delivery. Like, Emma Watson's cadence between the two versions here is almost identical.
That's what Fluffy's guarding on the third floor. That's what's under the trapdoor. The Philosopher's Stone. The Sorcerer's Stone.
And that couldn't have been easy. But it would have made the editor's job a whole lot easier. Because despite what I initially thought, these two versions are 100% in sync for their whole runtime. Like, I expected that maybe one version, would end a few seconds or even just a few frames later than the other. But no, these versions are really virtually identical. Scrub anywhere within the two films and both versions line up to the frame, including the end credits. Which is important because it would have allowed the sound effects and overall sound edit and mix of both films to remain the same, along with, the timing of the score.
Philosopher's Stone.
How do you know?
Someone's going to try and steal it.
But anyway, here are all the other differences that I could find between the two versions. So first of all, nothing's different when they pick up the stone, which makes sense because it's all very hush-hush at this point in the movie.
Best not to mention this to anyone, Harry.
And I just want to say, Gringotts is great. They've got lovely staff.
Lamp, please.
And decent security, although it does have some holes. But it's so 1,000 years ago, So if you want to manage your money like it's the 21st century, why not check out Revolut? It's a global money app that's used by 60 million users worldwide, which means for one, you don't need terrifyingly long fingernails to access your money. They also make international transfers a breeze, something that isn't always fast or easy. You can also use Revolut's multi-currency card to spend your money no matter where you travel without those insane foreign transaction fees. Everyday spending is easier too. You can make payments to friends and family at the touch of a button, and even get access to bonus subscriptions like Masterclass if you upgrade to the Revolut Metal plan. You also get a cool custom card that you can design yourself. Mine was inspired by speed. So if you want to manage your money like it's the future, along with 60 million others, check out the link in the description. You'll get $40 or your currency equivalent when you sign up and just use your card for the first time. So a big thanks to Revolut for sponsoring this video. The next difference I found was in this scene where the kids head to Hagrid's hut to talk about the stone. And this is also the only scene where Ron references the stone by its full name throughout the whole movie, by the way.
Hagrid.
Oh, hello. Sorry, don't wish to be rude, but I'm in no fit state to entertain today.
We know about the Philosopher's Stone. Hagrid.
Oh, hello. Sorry, don't wish to be rude, but I'm in no fit state to entertain today.
We know about the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh.
And then the next difference comes in this scene within the Forbidden Forest.
Do you mean to say that thing that killed the unicorn, that was drinking its blood, that was Voldemort?
Do you know what is hidden in the school at this very moment, Mr. Potter?
The Philosopher's Stone.
And again, the delivery in both versions is so close that it's kind of hard to hear the difference. So here's both versions back to back.
That was Voldemort.
Do you know what is hidden in the school at this very moment, Mr. Potter?
The Philosopher's Stone. That was Voldemort.
Do you know what is hidden in the school at this very moment, Mr. Potter?
The Sorcerer's Stone.
Harry!
And the final difference comes in this scene that I showed at the top of the video.
He received an urgent owl from the Ministry of Magic and left immediately for London.
He's gone?
But this is important.
This is about the Sorcerer's Stone.
How do you know?
Someone's going to try and steal it.
And if you are curious, I did end up ripping my VHS copy from 2002 as well, just to see if there'd been any adjustments made to the film over the past 23 years. And the short answer is no, that they are both the same movie. But I did discover a few things that you might find interesting. Firstly, look how much more picture you get on the top and bottom on this VHS copy in its 4:3 ratio. You can clearly see the books at the bottom in this scene, and Diagon Alley feels way more cramped in like a good way. It's not so much a thing now that shooting on film is more of a niche, but this is a great example of how handy it was to shoot your film in an open matte ratio when you went to make the 4:3 VHS version for the home release. And if you don't know what open map means, I won't go into the details, but essentially the Philosopher's Stone wasn't actually shot in the widescreen 239:1 ratio it was released in. It was more like this, which meant instead of having to do this when you went to make the 4:3 VHS version, you could do this instead. It's kind of crazy how much more you can see vertically, even in VFX heavy scenes. I mean, look, clearly visible troll toe beans. And the second thing I discovered was that my trusty VCR is playing my tapes too fast. And apparently that's a thing. I had no idea. From what I read, as your VCR ages, the capstan, which is the kind of wheel thing that controls the speed the tape is pulled through the machine, can kind of get the yips and start moving too fast. In my case, around 5% too fast. It's not enough to really notice a difference unless you're putting the two rips side by side like this, which means I would never have known about this if I didn't make this video. But this is with the two rips synced via the movie's first cut, and already it's way out of sync, even just 30 odd seconds into the movie. Stretch that out over 2.5 hours and you have my VHS copy rolling credits almost 6 minutes earlier than it should be. Great if you're strapped for time, I guess.
The House Cup needs awarding.
But anyway, I really wish we got this cover for our home releases in Australia. I mean, this cover is cool and all, but it just doesn't hold a candle to this US version. And that's because this one was hand painted by Drew Struzan, who is behind some of the most iconic movie posters ever made. And weirdly, there is a version of the Philosopher's Stone poster in Struzan's style, which just wasn't used very often, or at least not that I can remember anyway. So yeah, there you go. 4 different scenes and 2 prop books. That's the difference. And obviously the opening titles. But remember, there can only be one title that is the true title of the first book/movie. And I think we all know what one that is, don't we?
Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the Philosopher's Stone.
The what?
Honestly, don't you two read